Yeah, where you been at?
Well, I guess more than anything else right now, it's you got to look at every game how significant it is, and when you play league play and you open up 0-1 with a loss at home, your back is to the wall. So we realize right now that every game must be played like a tournament game, and I think you see it with every Big East game. I was watching West Virginia Seton Hall, and then you see it with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati last night, and St. John's is a very young, talented ball club. And it depends on what you let them do. They just blew out Providence, who played Georgetown to the wire. A lot of it's styles of play against each other. Other times it's making sure you take advantage of their weakness and make sure that you take away some of their strengths. And any team in this league can beat you on a given night. You see Rutgers beat Florida, they go down and lose to South Florida. So it's a crazy game.
What can you do to kind of jumpstart the offense?
Stop playing Kentucky. You know, the offense, Kentucky's a great defensive team. And they're the #1 defensive team in the country. So, you know, you can't judge your offense based against Kentucky. Now, we didn't do a good job in that game. We had some open shots we didn't take. And then our strategy was to go inside and try to get them in foul trouble. We didn't do that enough. So I think our offense is fine. I think we've got some limitations because of our abilities. But I think our offense will be fine in time. But, you know, I wouldn't judge your offense against UK because they're the premier defensive team in the country.
When do you expect Ventries? When will you start practicing? Do you know that?
I don't expect him back at all, to tell you the truth, because I thought he'd come back already. I'm shocked that he's not back, so by the time he gets back, it won't be of any value to us. Maybe come tournament time, but you know he's missing so much that Rock will be so far ahead of him. I don't even see him passing Zach Price right now. I'm shocked that he wasn't back here. But you know, we expect Wayne back way earlier than him.
Any idea when Wayne will be able to play?
Problem with Wayne is every time he gets hurt, he puts on 15 pounds. So you got a major problem. You know, we should be spending this time just getting his basketball skills in order, and we're not. We're spending this time trying to get 15 pounds off of him, just to get him in shape. And we didn't do a very good job of monitoring his diet while he was hurt. He couldn't work out, so you're going to put on some weight. And you expect to put on 3 to 6 pounds. Instead, he put on 15. So that hurt us a little bit. And we should have monitored his diet, and we did not.
Is he going through individual instruction now?
Yes.
Is he doing? What
Works out every day.
What do you see that you like?
Well, nothing. We started out, if you were 15 pounds heavier than you are now, I mean, you can't do anything of value because 5-7 minutes into it, you're exhausted. You know, I always tell people when they say, oh, it's no big deal, it's 10 pounds. Put 10 pounds of weights and strap it to your chest, just straight, and you'll see how well you move. It's very difficult. So we started, he couldn't go 20 minutes the first day, and then we worked up to 25 to 30, and now we're up to 35. So he would be ready to play in 2 weeks if he would have kept his weight. Yeah, he would have. But that's going over to them. It's our fault, not his.
Any sense then of how far back the projection goes?
I have no idea. And then it's effective, you know, like my son Richard said, you know, he said at best he's going to be a worthy substitute at best. And that's hoping he gets into shape. The guy that you guys haven't seen is so much better than he really is, and really a good basketball player, but is Kevin Ware. He's much better than you'd imagine. Sometime he's going to get his 20 minutes and you're going to be blown away a little bit.
Will it be as a combo 1 and 2, Rick?
Yeah, we're trying to work him into 2 now a little bit as well. You know, some of these games like Kentucky is so, you know, they're so physical and so big that, you know, we had to go with Russ Smith a little bit more. I don't want to play Russ too much into 1. I'd rather play him into 2.
You talked about this after the game. I guess the give and take, not as many assists, a lot more points. What is it like when you have an offense that's kind of circulating around a guy like that is so up and down?
Well, Russ Smith, you mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't circling around Russ. Russ was the only one who could score against Kentucky. You know, I think Peyton Siva's partially to blame. He did not do his job as a point guard in getting the ball inside. When we did go inside, that's when we executed and got good shots, even the pass out. He just kept running too many pick and rolls. And he learned a valuable lesson from that game. But they're very long, you know, they don't allow you a whole lot. But we did a good job in many areas. The shame of it all is our press was really good, and we only got it on 12 times. So that's the problem of not shooting a good percentage.
Coming out of that first half, Gordy only had one foul, which was definitely a plus, and he picked up those 3 quick ones. What did he take from the game, I guess, in that regard?
I don't understand that question.
He's been so good defensively sometimes not fouling, and he had done that in the first half, and you talked about how big of a part he was.
Yeah.
What does he realize?
Well, it hurt us when he did go out of the game, but, you know, that game was very difficult because, you know, Shane Bohannon, the referee said he had to give him a technical because he threw the ball at the man. And I said, okay, you're right, 100%. Then I watched the tape, and all he did was take the ball and drop it. Just flip the ball with no throw at all. If you watch it, it's incredible. It's too late now. In hindsight, I would have said something, but it didn't matter. He didn't throw the ball at all. He just flipped the ball up like that. And that's his 3rd foul, so he's out of the game. So, you know, then Peyton Siva was going for the ball. He had the ball first, then they both smashed against each other and called the foul on him. But there's a couple of plays the other way, same thing, that we fouled and Kentucky got away with it. So it was a foul fest, an ugly game, and but everybody was fouling. And they were all, it wasn't the referees. It was good, intense basketball. And I didn't mind the fouling of Davis at all, because he shoot 58%. Then he made, it speaks volumes of, and you know what? He made 12 out of 13, but all his free throws look good. You know, they looked like they were going in. I was, you know, sometimes you can't tell them to, but they look good. So I was surprised that he was 58%. So they made their free throws. And when they make their free throws, they're a tough team.
After the game, Kyle said he felt like he stood around too much. What do you hope that he learned from Saturday?
What Kentucky did is what a lot of teams are going to do. When we came off a pick and roll and we drove to the basket, they just shadowed him, face guarded him in the corner, and didn't let him have a shot. And Kyle's got to learn to do more. Now, is he capable of doing more? Chris Smith, is he capable of doing? Maybe not. That remains to be seen. He's been told that before. He was told to move. And he made token cuts instead of using the screen. Matter of fact, he got the 3rd foul on Gorky by not cutting properly. And Gorky had to step out and chicken with him. So it's, you know, he knows, he's been told he's going to be played that way. And that he has to move without the basketball. He didn't get the job done in that game. So he has no one to blame but the person in the mirror when it comes to that. Because he knew they were going to play him that way. All good defensive teams will play him that way.
Did he let his lack of offense affect his defense and rebound?
Look, if we got to rely on Kyle to rebound, we're in trouble. I mean, they've got a unique basketball team. I mean, they've got a young man, Michael K. Gilchrist, who's not only 6'7", but he's long. So, you know, it's the same thing with the kid from young man from Georgetown, the freshman. Guys with great length like that bother Kyle. He's trying to block him out. He's trying to hit him. I'll tell you what the reason, the 2 main culprits in that game of why they rebounded. They were longer than us, have more talent than Shane and Kyle on the backboard. Okay, and Rockman. 2 culprits were Peyton Siva and Russ Smith. Because they never got in there and just took the knees out of one player, and it was a 4-on-3 fight every time on the backboard. So, and that's an unfair fight when the other team has a reach in their home. So they didn't do the job of just hitting somebody and helping those guys out.
You know, will Laffin be coaching, you know?
I have no idea. Can you do?
I don't know. He's missed several games in a row, seven
Do you
or eight.
know him? Have you talked to him?
Yeah, I know.
Have you talked to him?
No, I have not.
With Ware, is this situation, do you pretty much, obviously you want to get him more minutes, but do you see how he's going during the game, and you know, or do you just say, I'm going to get him X
I think
amount
it's
of minutes?
a situation, CL, because there was only one guy who could score in that game, and I had to have him on the court, and that's Russ Smith. So now you have a choice. Do you want Peyton, or do you want a freshman? Putting him in that environment. So it's just a matter of the environment, and you had to have Russ, and Russ was the only one capable of scoring in that game. The other guys were being taken out of their games.
What does Kevin need to do, I guess, to earn more minutes, I guess, to be able to be more
Yeah,
comfortable?
he'll get more minutes, just time. It's just a matter of time, he's only been here a few weeks and just getting time. It'll come naturally, but he is a very good basketball player.
St. John's play a lot of man.
They play a lot of zone. This is a strange thing, but this has become a big-time zone league. Like if you watch Cincinnati last night, when you see Cincinnati play mostly 3-2 zone the entire game. You see West Virginia, you see Seton Hall play zone the entire game. We play zone, Pitt plays zone, Syracuse plays all zone. It's remarkable of how much zone is being played in this league. And I have not seen Villanova play. They probably are mostly man, but I've not seen a lot of the teams play. Marquette's mostly man.
It's weird to a point with the zone offense that he'll be able to play on, or will
Well, he's
that
better
be
against
kinda
man.
hamper?
He's better against man than he is zone. He's not a shooter.
From all the Big East games you've seen, do you have an idea maybe where you guys stack up compared to some of the competition?
I don't. I really don't. I think this is one of the hardest working teams I've coached. I think they're limited in a lot of areas, but I do think, a lot of you guys right now, like Rakeem Buckles, he's nowhere near 100%. Kevin Ware is just learning the system. Kyle and Chris are not playing real well right now because they're playing into the hands of the defense by not playing to their skill level. So, we battled them to the wire. Could have put ourselves in a situation if we made smart decisions to win the game. We didn't. But that's really with only one player playing well because of incredible effort. But effort's not enough to beat a team like Kentucky. It's got to be where you can't beat a Kentucky. You're not going to beat a Syracuse on effort. You're just not going to do it. So it's got to be effort and execution, 2 E's. And we're going to get to that point. But I am proud of the guys. They worked their tails off and got to just move forward. It was a great lesson for us because they took us to the woodshed on the backboard. Took us to the woodshed.
Do one more for Coach.
A lot of times guys going home, they have difficulty playing, specifically some of the guys who are from New York area, they haven't had their best games when they go play.
Like who?
I remember Edgar always struggled when he went back.
I think that's it. I think Francisco played fine back in New York. I don't think anything phases. What is Russ going to do? Take more shots? How can he? Right? I mean, really, how could Russ? I mean, Russ is Russ. I don't think Russ. I mean, I think if Russ went down to the YMCA, he would try to take every shot. It's so I don't think Russ. It's going to bother Russ. I don't think too much bothers Russ. I really don't. I think with Chris Smith, he's not playing particularly well right now because he's trying to do things he's not capable of doing. Last year he fed off moving, shooting, ball faking, and passing, and now he's trying to do things he's not capable of doing. So when he gets back to doing the things that he can do, play to his strengths, he'll be an effective ball player. And the Kyle and Chris sort of fall into the same mode. I mean, they're not beat you off the bounce guys. They're guys who move without the basketball. And the biggest thing they got to understand is Preston's gone, and everybody keyed on Preston and Peyton. Stop Peyton drive, stop Preston. So they were the beneficiary of having Preston on the court. Now that he's gone, they're getting the shadow, so to speak. And the only way to do it, they can't. So they could say two things. One, I'm going to try to beat the guy off the bounce playing one-on-one. Wrong, it's not their game. Or they can say, I'm going to use screens, I'm going to move without the basketball, I'm going to create constant movement. That's their game. Guys like Russ and Peyton and Kevin Ware, they'll beat you off the bounce. So it's something that they learned a valuable lesson from that game. But this is a big stretch. These next four games are crucial to us of where we're going to be. When these 4 games are over, if we don't come away with W's, it's going to be a fight to the finish, like we've had in a lot of years. So we've got to get these 4 games. Okay, thanks.
Coach.